Chilling with the nicest, the flyest, Defynest Podcast.
A lot of this podcast I improvise. Like most of the time I do absolutely no prep work. I do no background. Don't do anything like that, man. I just like to go get into it so people see like the actual, like the real reaction.
Yeah, she's genuine.
Nothing fake, nothing staged, just the raw, real stuff, man. But yeah, so guys, welcome back to the Defynest Podcast, the podcast where we defy the definition in order to become the best, man. I'm your host, Michael Macedo. And yeah, man, today, man, I got special guest, man. Hadn't seen him in a while, but you know, I had to reach out to him, dog. It's my boy, DJ Loon, man.
Hello. What's up, bro?
You're all shy now, man. People don't know that we've been talking for a while already before you even recorded.
2-hour convo.
Yeah.
As soon as the camera comes on, I'm like,
yeah, man. So yeah, he's a DJ amongst other stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about the other life, you know.
Yeah, we talk about everything, bro.
Man, we could talk about that,
everything,
dog?
man.
All right, man. So part DJ, part firefighter, man. So we got a little good combo right there.
Something like that. Yeah.
You know, part party animal, part superhero, real life superhero, dog.
Yeah, I'm like the caramel Black Panther. Call me the Mocha Panther.
The Mocha Panther, dog. I like it, dude. I think that's gonna be the title of the podcast. The Mocha Panther. Like you just named your own podcast, dog.
Bro, yeah. Did you do that, Bebo? Yeah, I think not.
You did not, man. Yeah, so every time like I start the podcast, I always like to share with everybody, you know, how we met. Mm-hmm. And then so the first time where we met, I remember the first time where we met. So I knew of you through Bebo and Izzy and all that. You know, this was back in the MySpace days. So everything was like, you know, everything was like real social and all that. And that's how I knew of you. But I remember meeting you for the first time was at Bebo's house. We were at Bebo's house one day, and then you came in, you stopped. I don't know what we were doing. I don't know if it was like before a show or it was we were just there chilling and stuff like that. And I remember you came and you stopped by, and then so that was the first time I remember seeing you. I was like, remember talking to you and stuff like that, man. But yeah, other than that, so I remember some times where there's one specific time. This was like later. It was me, Bebo, Izzy, I think Young was there, and then you. And then I remember y'all were going back and forth, you know, just kind of like roasting each other.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden you go like, man, hold up. You got everybody to quiet down, and then you're like, man, I'm the dopest rapper in this room.
In a room full of rappers.
Yeah, in a room full of rappers. Like you're like, man, I'm the dopest rapper in this room.
Oh man.
And I was like, this dude's hilarious.
Say.
I was like, man, this dude's dope, man. This dude's dope.
Nah, I always used to mess with so like, man, Bebo was like, that's my brother, man. Like, so I was like 5th grade. I know Bebo, man. So Bebo was one of, you know, his spot was like where we would go and chop it up, play video games, watch Dragon Ball Z, and record. Like, you know, then Bebo was always like, for whatever reason, he's always like respected. Like, man, what do you think? Like, what do you think about this hook? What do you think about this 16? So I remember one time, man, I don't know what got in me. So I was like, man, I want to record. Let me record. And then we came up with a little hook and all this or whatever. And bro, we did a song. And I killed him. I think I
really?
Killed him. Nah, I didn't kill him. But I was like, I did all right. I did pretty good for not to be a rapper. Yeah. And after that, like, you couldn't tell me nothing, dude. It was me, Bebo, and Izzy was on it. Yeah. Bebo, they'll know what I'm talking about. And
I probably have it, dog. It's probably on because Cause I got Izzy's hard drive in my computer right now because I'm fixing his computer.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure he has it on there. Like,
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure. Yeah. So yeah, after that, dude, every time I'd be, I'd mess with him and be like, bro, like, how you gonna let a DJ out rap you, bro? Yeah, but nah, yeah, it's good times, man.
It's crazy, man. Hold on. Let me check something real quick. This thing turned off. I was like, I don't want to have. Are we recording? We better be recording. Damn, we might have missed that first part, dog. Man, I've been having like a whole bunch of technical issues lately, dog.
Did it record?
It's recording now for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know if what happened like in the first part, did it just cut off or anything, but right now it's recording and we're good. But yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that in the video, the YouTube video. The audio is gonna be dope, man. It was just funny because in the last podcast, I fucked up the video on it. But I
saw that.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault though, man. The memory card gave out when I was transferring. It crashed. It's like it just went corrupted, and then so I lost all the video footage, and that would have been hilarious because we recorded that one at Pitch 25 at a bar in East Downtown, and then so we had like people walking in the background, and so I know like there's a whole bunch of people like video bombing, and stuff like that. And there's this one point when one of my boys was like yelled out to like it was like a couple that was walked by, and then he did it like inviting them towards like the podcast. He's like, hey, y'all want to come on the podcast? Like just random people walking by, and then but what ended up happening was like they ended up getting like that caused an argument between both of them or something, like the two people. Like, oh shit. Yeah, just like yeah. And he was like just inviting him on the podcast. So it would have been hilarious to see all that, but I lost all the footage stuff. But so man, stuff happens, man. Sometimes
bro, that's one thing, man. Especially like with the DJ thing, man.
Yeah.
So, nowadays, like everything's technology, right?
Yeah.
So like even with like, man, when I first started DJing, I learned on turntables, right? Like, your typical vinyl. And now from that to now, bro, it's night and day, right? So a lot of the stuff, all DJs, man, like they have like either external hard drives that they carry. So when they go DJ, you just plug in your external, and the external with the program, the more popular one, Serato, right?
Yeah.
So that program kind of eliminates you having to carry crates or CDs. So everything is in your hard drive. But if something happens to that hard drive, man, dude, you're done.
Yeah.
So like, man, this is probably like 2 months ago, 2-3 months ago, man. I was DJing at this spot, and it was me and DJ Bonix. We were DJing at this place called Lumen, right? So the way the DJ setup is on a stage. So this chick, they had a section right next to us, right? So, you want to be courteous, customer, friendly. Like, whatever. So she's dancing, and man, I feel like I'm pretty cool because you have a lot of DJs that they're dicks, man. Like they feel like they're too cool or whatever, man. It's a lot of dudes that kind of feel themselves too much to where you can't request a song.
Yeah.
So I'm not like if I could mix it into what I'm doing, then I'll play a request, right? But my only pet peeve, man, is when people touch my stuff or you're around my stuff, And this chick, man, she put her drink on the DJ table. So I tell her, like, hey, I'm like, hey, can you take your drink off, please? Oh, okay. So she takes it, right? So then she comes back and puts it again, but this time she starts like dancing and holding onto the table. So like, bro, I got mad.
Yeah.
So I tell her again, I'm like, hey, like, stop touching the table and get your drink off. Please get your drink off the table.
Yeah.
So she's like, whatever, okay. So she did. Bro, like 2 minutes later, she comes and does the same thing again, right? And she was so drunk she pulled the DJ table off the stage.
Oh shit!
With her in it, with her on it, and like I probably could have saved her. I was just like, I'm gonna watch you. It was slow mo too. She was like, and then, but the first thing I did was grab my homie's laptop and mine, and I like, no, not my equipment. So I was able to get the equipment, but the external, bro.
Oh, okay.
Bro, that chick ruined my external, man.
Damn, that's messed
up. Man, bro, you talking about hurt? Cause it's like, man, that's a lot of times people don't see that, man. Like, bro, you have your external, you have your music, and that external kind of like coexists with the program, right? So if you build crates, right? So you like, let's say you have a hip hop crate, a old school 90s crate, a 90s R&B crate, and then you might set it in like BPMs, right? So like when you mix, you might have 80, 85, 90, 95 BPMs, right? So you set it into like different beats per minute. Like, bro, everybody has their own way of doing it. And I'm like, dude, I'm OCD. Like, I like everything,
organized.
So that's like hours and hours and hours and hours that she, like, bro, like, I'm still working on, like, it's been like, like 2 months. I'm still working on like getting my crates back on point. Damn, man. But I lost all. But technology, bro, that's one thing, man. Like, you never know, man.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, and I can see that because man, there's a lot of organization and just like putting your music, categorizing and all that stuff, and just thinking about all the music that you had on there.
Yeah,
man.
And I had it backed up, and I was able to recover like all the older stuff. But man, that's my fault. I hadn't updated my backup in probably like a year, dude.
Yeah.
But I have like good thing. I'm like real good friends with a lot of like DJ homies that have my back, and a lot of the stuff that probably for like the last year, like they like took care of me, man. So they like, I was able to kind of, but it's still like organizing it, you know. But I have the music, so at least I don't have to go through the hassle of getting all that. But organizing it back in the crates, and that's the time consuming part. But yeah,
man, it's crazy, man. And I always wanted to ask you, man, because I never really had a chance. How did you start DJing, man? Like, what got you into like the music and then DJing that route?
Well, man, I've been like, dude, I grew up. My stepdad, man, he was a musician, and my cousin, he was, dude, he's to me still like, man, he's one of the best musicians / saxophone player I have ever heard. Like, and when I was little, you look up to your big cousins, right? Yeah. So like, I'm like, shout out to Eric, Roy and Eric, my cousin Eric, and he, I wanted to be like him. I was like, man, Eric's so cool. So like, I was in elementary, and he got in the band, and bro, this dude got a saxophone, right? And within like, never touched a sax, nothing, bro. Within like a few weeks, this boy was playing like music off the radio, and like to do that, man, that's like, man, that's a skill. That's a gift. That's God given. Cause I used to like, I remember I would try to play saxophone for a little. I was like, man, why don't I sound like Eric? But it's just like, it's just God given, So I was around it, man. And, around like him, and a lot of my cousins too, they break dance. So I was like a real hip hop head on that end. Cause like, I used to be like the little kid trying to like do windmills and head spins and stuff. But I was put on game like with, like a lot of the old school B-boy music. Mm-hmm. And I remember like going to a B-boy battle, man, at Traditionals. I don't know if it's Love right here
on Little York.
Yeah. And I remember like seeing the DJ dude, and I was like, yo, like, bro, I was like in awe. Like, I was like, and then he was going off. And, I was probably like in 4th grade, man. Something like that, like 4th, 5th. And it was always like, man, I want to DJ. But, you know, obviously, man, like DJ equipment, especially back then, is like now how I was telling you about the programs, bro, back then it was none of that.
Yeah.
It was like you train your ear. Like that's how you mix. So like you kind of like you listen to music differently. Like, you know, you listen at the snare, the bass, you know, so when you mix, like back then, like, bro, the best way I could explain it is like rewiring your thought process when you hear beats, right? So it was hard. Equipment was expensive. So it was just like in the back of my mind, like, man, I'm a DJ. But I ended up going from that. When I got into middle school, I got in the band because of my cousin, and I played trumpet. And you know, I was decent, man. Then went from there to Sam Houston. Shout out Sam Houston. Yeah. And the band at the time, Sam Houston had like one of the best bands like in the state. Like their band was dope, man. And when I got there, my cousin Eric, you know, he's anything shy of like confident. He's like, man, they're gonna find out you're my cousin. You better play. You're not gonna make me look bad, right? So I used to be like, oh man, like I got pressure. So when I transitioned into from 8th grade to 9th grade, in my whole 8th grade year, I pretty much kind of stopped because I was like, I played football and basketball, and I was like, man, like, and I didn't like the band director too much. So like, I'm gonna wait till I get to Sam Houston. So I kind of like took that whole year off, and going into 9th grade, man, I remember like pricing it because like, man, I can't look bad because then I'm gonna make Eric look bad. So yeah, going into my freshman year in high school, man, I practiced my butt off because of him. So I was actually like, man, I was pretty solid, you know? And again, though, like, man, I was a basketball player at heart, man. Yeah. Football season came around. And the only reason I got recruited to go like to a few other high schools. And I went there, I was solely for that reason. I was like, nah, I gotta go be in that band. Yeah. I wanna go be in that band. And yeah, but like once basketball season started, football season started, I dropped it. And then all that ended up transitioning, man, into man, I actually started like going into my sophomore year. I actually like, you know, like people were kind of telling me, man, you might have potential like to play somewhere after this, you know, like you're all right. So I got invited to it's called an AAU team. So it's pretty much, you know, AAU. Yeah. So it's like traveling teams, and they cost money, man. A lot of times, you know, like you're sponsored to a certain extent, but you know, you still like you play it all over. You really play all over the country. And basketball was from that point on was pretty much like all I did, right? But like I didn't have money, dude. And then you kind of, you know, like bro, you 15, 16, and you see all your friends with the cool kicks, and and you know my mom, bro, like we didn't have money like that. So I was like, man, how do I make money? I need to figure out a way money, you know, legally. I was like, I need to figure something out, because I didn't want to stop playing basketball because it was year round. Like it was when it was off season, I was go play AAU ball or you know. Bro, it just never stopped. So, I mean, I wasn't even old enough to drive. I had just got my little permit at 16, and my cousin was a manager at a valet in the Woodlands, and he's like, man, I was like, give me a job, Hyro. And I was like, Hyro, like, come on, man. He's like, I'll get you on. I was like, come on, dude, like, I could do it. So he got me on. I don't even think I wasn't even old enough to like legit. I didn't have a legit driver's license yet. It was like a permit. Well, he got me on. You know, the majority of that money is tip money. Bro, that whole summer, my sophomore year going into my junior year, I saved up money. I saved up $3,200, and I put it, you know, back, bro, I didn't know nothing about no bank. Had it all in the shoebox. So I had a shoe, and every day after like I get my tips, I put it in there and I like count it. And like I counted, then I counted again, then counted again, and it kept growing. And at the end of the summer, I did that all summer. And again, my cousin Eric, I was like, I didn't know nothing about sound. I didn't know any, you know, I didn't know nothing. And I was like, Eric, I need sound. I'm gonna be a DJ. And he's like, you ain't gonna be. I'm like, I'm serious. I got money. He's like, you ain't, he probably thought I probably had like 200 something or something. I was like, bro, cousin, take me. Where do I go? Yeah. And then, cause I used to get these magazines, man. Like I used to get like Guitar Center magazines, and I would go to stores, and I used to look at the prices of stuff, bro. Like DJ equipment is super expensive, especially for a 15-year-old. So I told Eric how much money I had, and he's like, well, I know where we could go. We ended up going to Diamond Pawn Shop on Jensen, right here.
I think I know where it's at. It's passing Tidwell.
Yeah, on the left.
Yeah.
Bro, I went in there, bro. I went in there, dude, with a shoebox and $3,200, man. Yeah. And my cousin, he knew about sound and stuff. So yeah, dude, I spent every dime in there of that $3,200 and some tables, a mixer, and an amp and 2 speakers. And then, yeah, dude, $3,200. Showed up to the house. I remember my mom wasn't home. And then she shows up and she's like, I have everything in the living room. She's like, what are you doing? You're crazy? She's like, you spent all your money? I'm like, yes. I'm like, Mom, be a DJ. And then my cousin's like, yeah, like he's gonna be a DJ. Now he's like, oh, like whatever. Now he got me my first gig, dude. He's like, I don't even know how to mix yet, dude. I don't even know how to plug the equipment up yet. And my cousin there was like, hey, I got you a gig next week. And I'm like, I swear, dude. I swear, he's like, I got you a gig. And I was like, you sure? Yeah. And my father-in-law, I told him to book you. And yeah, dude. I went over there, man, and that was the first gig I ever did. Was like a week after. Yeah. And yeah, bro, like, man, I kind of like became obsessed with it. And it was either like at that age, it was legit, bro. It was basketball. It was my girlfriend at the time, and it was like music. Yeah. I was just like, man, I want to get good at this. I want to get good at this. And I would do that every day. And my mom used to I said, a 2-story house. So, man, I used to drive that lady crazy, man. She'd be like, Johnny, like she calls me Johnny, ya apaga esa música. And I'd be like, okay, Emma. And I'll lower it. Yeah. And yeah, dude, now like she's one of my biggest supporters though. Because she's seeing like how like I was stuck with it, man. And just like in anything you do, bro, like when I'm really like that, man, like when I'm not good at something, and I enjoy it, like you kind of like become obsessed with it. So we were like, you like
practice,
man, you practice, or like
you take you put in all those hours, man.
Man.
That time where you're like, you could be doing other stuff, but I was like, man, you know what? I need to work on this. I want to get better. So the only way you're gonna get better is working at it. Yeah. Yeah. So I could relate to those times.
Yeah, and especially like Kel, like you, bro, because you're a hustler, man. Yeah. Like. Bro, I remember with you, not to get off subject, but real quick, bro, I remember talking about the first time, like the one of the first images that I have of you is, bro, whenever you graduated from you were about to graduate from U of H. Yeah. And you're like, yo, I got this concept. Yeah. Buzz bounce. Yeah. And I was like, what?
We'll get into it. Yeah, man. Let's do that, bro. Man. If people don't know this story, man, so we're gonna share this story.
Bro, I remember that actually, like, that really made me like you, just because how, like, bro, like, you were so, like, bro, like, your eyes sparkled. Like, they were, like, speaking about this idea. And I remember he's like, yeah, bro, look, it's like a cooler beer pong. Yeah. You're like, and then I remember you telling me the whole thing. I remember, like, whenever Bebo designed the logo.
Yeah, he did the logo.
Yeah, and I remember like going through the color schemes. I still remember it was yellow and red. Yep. Yeah. And I was like, I remember kind of helping with that. I was like, yeah, bro, this is dope. Kind of remind me of Shazam or something.
You know what it does?
Yeah.
Not even think about that, man. Yeah, man, especially with the movie just come out like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. But I'm like, bro, that's why me and Bebo is my guy, bro, because we're nerds. We're nerds at heart. Like, bro, me and Bebo right now will talk. And Izzy too. What? 5 hours on like Marvel, DC, Batman, the Flash. When's the new Flash? When we're gonna come out? This, and that. So like, that's like everything. Especially like with a logo, like with that, I remember it, and I was like, oh, bro, that Shazam all day is dope. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's like one of the real like early memories that I have of you, bro. Like I remember you like with this you had this whole game plan behind it. Like yeah, man. But you're a hustler, bro. I say all that to say you're a hustler. Then I saw you like we're doing like paintings, right? Canvases.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you went from that, and I saw you started like doing like video and all. I was like, bro, this boy might be getting it, boy. Like, you know what I mean?
All kinds of
things,
man.
but that's what I mean though. Like, I can relate to that, to where like, you know, like you do something because you like it, right? So that seed is in the back of your head. Yeah. Then you kind of like, man, let me see what this audio engineering is about. Yeah. And then you like dive in there, you're like, oh man, then you kind of become obsessed with it to the point to where like you kind of get mad at yourself because you don't know something yet. Yeah. You know, but just like in anything, man, it's work, is hours of you know, it's hours of mixing music down and getting that snare just right, you know, or getting that bass line just right, you know, like it's work, it's practice, just like everything, you know. So, yeah, bro. Yeah, man, you're a hustler, Mike. Yeah, you're a hustler, man.
To me, how I see it, I guess one of the drives that I always had, you know, because we talked about this a little bit, but I grew up poor too, so we didn't have anything. So basically, you know, you dealt with what you had. What you had, that was it. You know, you can't. Basically, you deal with what you had, no money, so it's not like you go buy stuff or anything like that. So with me, I was like, all right, well, what's a way that you could save money? You save money if you do it yourself. If you do everything yourself, you save money. So with me, it was more like growing up, it was always about like building and adding skills, adding new skills, like figuring stuff out on your own, and just like, okay, if I could do this on my own, then I don't have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
$500 you know.
Man, bro, and even with that, like man, dude, I'm like that now. And even more so than that, you do have a point on that as far as, and yeah, you do, bro. Like you do save a lot of money, like you figuring out certain things like traits or just, you know, in regards to anything that somebody else you would have to pay or somebody else would make money off of you when you could just figure it out yourself. But to me, man, even more so now, is like, man, dude, it's just that satisfaction. Like once you like, man, I don't know if I could do that. And you do it, you're like, just kind of like stand behind it. Like, yeah, I built this, you know what I mean? Or, you know, it's just, to me, even more so now, like for example, I like cutting my yard. Yeah. You know, and it's not even, I just enjoy cutting my yard. Like
we got Hank Hill over here.
Huh?
Hank Hill.
Yeah, I get my Hank on, man. I get my Hank, but bro, I just enjoy it because afterwards I look at my yard and I'm like, man, this yard looks good. Yeah, I did that. You know, it's just that something's little, but it makes you feel good. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, like it's good to be that way because, bro, like I can relate. That's how the whole DJ thing started. It was like, bro, like, you know, I didn't have a dad growing up. My mama, bro, God bless her soul, man. That lady worked her butt off for me, man. So my whole thing was like, man, I need to make this lady proud, and I don't want to be a headache to her. So how can I, like, I don't want to keep asking her for, like, Mom, can I have some money to take my girl to the movies? Can I have some money because I want to play? I need some shoes. You know, so like, you know, like, it comes from that. So that's how this whole like DJ thing, for example, started. I was like, man, I need what are you good at? What are you good at? What do you like that you can do and make money and still play basketball? Yeah. And I was like, DJing. I was like, yes, now I need money. You know? So just like in anything, man, it's just that man, and that's the best $3,200, brother, that I have ever in my life spent on anything, because at the time, I remember like my buddies, man, I remember like telling my you know, my homies like, yo, I'm a DJ, bro. Oh, you crazy, whatever. And I'd be like, bro, watch, like I'm a DJ. Like, you know how expensive that stuff is? I was like, bro, you're investing in yourself. Yeah. I was like, yeah, it's gonna cost this, but I'm gonna make it back and then some. And bro, I remember doing it. I remember like, bro, I never doubted myself. Like, bro, let's go. I'm make this 32 into 100 times more. Yeah. And I remember when because a few of my homies are like, bro, you know, bro, 16, $3 grand. You're like, you're rich.
Yeah, man, you can do anything.
Yeah, they're like, you're gonna go buy speakers? Yeah. You're gonna go buy, and I was like, bro, trust me, like I'm gonna make this money back. Yeah. And yeah, bro, that 3,200, man, like I practiced, developed the skill set, and by the time I was a junior, senior, it was hoop, school. On the weekends, bro, I was doing all the hood parties.
There you go,
bro. I was doing all the hood parties, man, for, you know, like all the north side schools, Sam, Reagan, Davis, MacArthur, Audit, bro. I was all over, like, you know, doing
all over this place.
Yeah, all over. And then from there, I actually started getting pretty good when I when I was in college.
Yeah.
So like, my freshman, sophomore year of college, man, I'm still really good friends with this guy. His name's Eric Jimenez. He's DJ E-Rock, man. That's my guy. So he was doing it a little before me. And my boy, he's actually the head band director at Heights High School, Reagan.
Okay.
Now, yeah, super, super musically gifted dude. Very ambitious, like, bro, just good people, right? And music, you know, me and him, we kind of like clicked, man, because you know, we had that same, he was a band guy, I was a band dude. The only thing I just did the sports. But he, you know, he pursued it and that's his career now. He's a band director. Yeah. And he was DJing back then. So me and him, he went to PV, Prairie View.
Yeah.
And I went to Texas Southern. So both of those are like, they're in the swag, predominantly black schools. So like I was the Hispanic DJ at TSU and he was a Hispanic DJ at PV. So then just being so cool with him since we were like in high school. He went to Lamar. Bro, we just would link up and we would do a lot of we were doing like all the college stuff. So like he was known as a Hispanic DJ at PV. I was a Hispanic DJ at TSU. And then he was a beta, Sigma Lambda Beta guy. So we started next thing I know, dude, we're getting booked to DJ in SFA, UTSA, A&M. Bro, we were all over the place off of DJing, doing clubs, and we're doing fraternity parties, sorority, probates. Yeah. And man, those years, I learned a lot from Eric, because you know, the way he kind of approached it early on too was he was very business savvy, right? And he kind of hit me onto that quick, man. I was like, bro, you know, even though it's fun and it's a skill set, at the end of the day, you're a business, you know, you gotta you know, remember he's the one that helped me come up with my first contract, you know, for gigs and stuff. And yeah, bro, all off of that, man, off of that $3,200, man. And I'm still doing it, you know? Yeah, still doing it, man. So it's...
I actually remember when I was at U of H, and then so this was this was my last semester because this is when I joined HBSA at U of H. I remember they had a club party. They had a HBSA club party and stuff like that. And then I remember some people talking about they didn't know who was gonna DJ and all this other stuff. And then I was I remember seeing they finally booked somebody, and then but they were iffy. They weren't sure, and I was it turned out it was you. They booked you for their party, and I was wait a minute. I was I know the guy, man. Yeah. I was hold up, y'all booked him? Because they were worried and I don't know if he's gonna be good or not. I was no, dude. I was this dude's dope. He's legit. Because they're kind of deciding if they're gonna go or not. Yeah. I was telling them, I was go, man. He's gonna keep it. He's gonna keep it crunk. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun night, man. Just go. Yeah. So I had to let them know, man.
You had to vouch for me real quick, man.
I was dude, it's legit, man, for real.
Man, what if I would have been tragic? But man, I don't know that dude. It was another DJ Loon. I didn't know it was him. Not that one. It was another one.
Yeah. Now they told me. I was all right. I was all right, wait. And then how's he spell his name? And all right. And then I think they had a link to your social. I was yes, this is the guy. I was I know him, dog. I was
was that at the Marriott?
I don't know where. I think this was at It was a club. It was like an actual like.
Oh, at a club?
At a club.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it was at a club. Yeah, and you were the DJ for the night.
Cool,
I don't remember which one, man.
As long as I didn't make you look bad, bro. I'm like, as long as I didn't make you look bad, man.
Yeah.
I get that a lot though, man. A lot of times, cause you know, it's like, how do I explain it, man? So a lot of times, so what I'm transitioning more to now is like a lot of the corporate events, a lot of the private events and whatnot. So a lot of times they, you know, people kind of like you know, like you get judged. So they're like, man, like when I, you know, if I do an event for like, you know, some older people or whatever, they're like, we like 80s classic rock and we like, you know, 90s hip hop, and like, can you do that? And I'm like, yes, you know. But it's like you kind of like it, or like on the flip side, like a lot of times like Hispanics, they're like, well, you kind of, do you know Spanish?
Yeah.
You know, like, or do you know what norteño is? Do you know what cumbias are? Do you know what pan? I'm like, yeah, you know. So it's kind of cool though, because like you're like, man, you don't even know. Like, I grew up on this, man. My mom used to every Sunday, Saturday morning, bro, cleaning and you know. So it's like, man, I grew up on that, and man, I take pride in not even pride. I just like it's what I do, man. I enjoy it. So it's like, bro, I'll go and you know, even if I'm not the biggest fan of a certain genre, like it's my job. I feel like I need to go get enlightened on that genre. Like, what are the big hits of the 60s, of the 70s? Some of the big artists. What were like some of the top songs in that era, like that were like the equivalent of like the Billboard charts now, or like, you know, top 10.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, over years I've been doing this. I was like 16. So like, bro, like, man, I've been doing this for like 13 years, 14 years, man. Yeah. So, you know, doing that and covering multiple like genres, multiple like people from, dude, I've done like a hole in the wall in the hood in Third Ward, and then I just did a wedding in Beverly Hills a few months ago for Corey Brewer. Shout out to Corey and Monique. They just got married. And I just say that to say this. So it's like it's you know, it's a body of work, man, and a lot of times I feel like dudes, man, like, or you kind of get perceived a certain way with the DJing thing, because, you know, I get that a lot too, like as far as in like, oh, you like you party animal or whatever, man. Honestly, it's more so like just the how do I say it, like what you put out, you know what I mean? What you put out, but really, man, behind the scenes, like people don't see like you organizing crates. People don't see you working on mixes, working on edits. People don't see your hard drive getting trashed and you having to like redo all that. You know, it's man, it's a grind, it's a craft, man, and it's work. You know, just like anything else. But it's just kind of portrayed in that light, like, oh, like, you know, like it's
like all you do is like have a whole bunch of like files and then just press play. That's what they kind of perceive it as.
For sure. And don't get me wrong though, like it's a lot of guys that do that and call themselves DJs or whatever, right? And then, to me, man, at the end of the day, like, man, do your thing, you know, to each their own, but you get what you pay for, you know what I mean? You get what you pay for, and a lot of these dudes, man, what they don't realize is like they're watering the game down. You know, you have actual dudes who, and Houston, I'm not just saying that because we live here, we're from here. Bro, Houston has some very super dope DJs. Super, not just in the club scene, outside of the club scene. Mm-hmm. Dudes that people have never really even heard of that are super talented, super dope, but they don't get the shot because you have a youngster, or not even a youngster, dudes that might want to DJ now to look cool, and they'll do it for a quarter of the price, half the price, and a $50 bar tab. And a lot of like the way like the club promoters work, they're very they're kind of grimy, man. Yeah, you know, they're real stingy. So they're like, man, you charging X amount. Well, well, DJ such and such will do it for half of that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, all right, well, go ahead and get him. But you'll see like the difference, you know, in the quality of, you know, how serious they take their craft compared to somebody who actually has spent years, you know, into like reading the crowd and enlightening themselves in different, you know, different genres, different aspects of music. It's night and day, and it shows, you know. But, you know, a lot of times people don't know that. Like,
no, man.
So
first thing they see is that they see the money, they see the, you know, they see like, oh, he's charging less, so like, let's go with them. All they think about is just like the money. And I would get that all the time too with, because I did body work for collision repair for 14 years.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I started young, and then I remember that was one thing, like people, like you were saying, people do judge you. Like, okay, you see this young dude like giving you a quote and stuff like that. The first impression, I was like, this is the guy who's gonna fix my car.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
and then that's like you know, you have to overcome that objection, and you know, to a point, it was like, man, I was like, there was a time where I was like, you know what? I felt like I always had to prove myself.
Yeah.
Like always had to prove myself. I always had to, you know, show that I'm good enough. It got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm dope. And you know what? I'm tired. I was like, I'm tired trying to like, oh, I have to like prove myself every single time. I was like, I know I'm dope. I can do this.
For sure.
And you know what? If you don't want to, that's fine.
Yeah,
go. If you don't want me to fix it, that's fine. Go ahead, man. There's sometimes where you got to turn down the job. You like, you know.
Yeah, dude. Bro, I can absolutely relate with that. Like so much, man. It comes kind of like you know, like, bro, like it comes a time when you're like, all right, like, I'm not like gonna keep, you know, trying to tell you why you should like me or whatever, or how you said, like, trying to prove myself. Just go look at my body of work. You know, like, for example, with you, like, I've been working with one of the biggest repair shops in Houston for X amount of years. You think if I wasn't any good, like, you think that they would allow that? You know, so like, on this end, like, if not to say I'm like all that by any means or any, you know, not trying to be arrogant, but like, you do, like, you need that confidence in you. Like, man, if you're not confident in yourself, then how do you expect somebody else to be confident in you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're going to pick that up. They're going to notice that too. And they're going to like, oh man, I'm not sure about this guy, man. And what's going to end up going to happen is they're going to go somewhere else.
They're going to go get their car messed up or they're going to like, you know, for like on my end, like, you know, you might go with somebody else that, you know, charges a lot less or whatever. Or a lot of times even aside from that too, you got people that are the opposite of that it's kind of like, one thing that I noticed, a lot of the guys that are very talented in whatever lane they're in, man, a lot of times they're the ones that kind of like self-doubt themselves the most. Yeah. And then you have the guys that suck, that are no good, and those are the dudes that talk about themselves like they are the Michael Jordans of their craft, you know? And, you know, it's like that you know, like, what's that old like car salesman, you know, like you tell the client whatever they want to hear, so they book you, you know, and then when they, you know, whatever they tell you, look, I'm this and that, the sky's blue, but is it blue? It's red. It looks red kind of if you squint, and they just have such a good mouthpiece. They're so confident about themselves that you kind of like start like, oh man, like, then you know what? Like, Mike, well, you know what? If I squint my eyes a little bit, the sky is kind of, you know. But they're just really good with their words. Yeah. But their skill set doesn't back it up. You know what I mean? So then
they can't prove it. They can't show up, man. They can't do the work, and you know, I see that a lot nowadays. Dude. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's getting worse.
Yeah,
now.
Bro. And it goes back to like what we said a little earlier, bro. Technology. Yeah. Like, technology feels like, man, dude, like, I could get your camera right now and I could snap a pic of the sky and I'm like, oh, snap. Yeah. Damn, dude, I'm a photographer. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're like, bro, like, it's a horrible picture. Yeah. But, like, you know, just the quality of it, you know, even now, like, you got iPhones, bro. Like, they have such dope cameras to where, like, now that's why, like, think about it, like, and not to hate on anybody that's, like, for example, like, because, I mean, it goes out to, like, the people that are, like, kind of like faking what they are. Like it's like you look at now at like how many photographers are out there now?
Yeah,
bro. I feel like everybody knows somebody that knows somebody who somebody else is a photographer.
Yeah.
But who really is a photographer? Like you think about like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It was more so the people that were real true to the craft of like photography and what went behind it. All that goes back to like DJing. 15 years ago, there wasn't as many DJs as there are now. Now everybody thinks they're a DJ. You get a laptop, you get a program, you get some turntables, or a little controller, and you're a DJ. You know what I mean? So
everything's gotten more affordable too, like technology wise, like. Cameras, like you were saying, I was like, cameras have gotten a lot cheaper. Microphones, you could record a lot easier. I mean, it used to be like a big barrier of entry. Like the cost was so much that people wouldn't
not anybody could do it. Yeah,
basically,
man. And I'll say everything, bro. Look at the music, and look at where it is now. Not to sound like an old hater or whatever, but just like look at the quality of the music nowadays. Compared to like back then, like bro, like now you got all these SoundCloud rappers. Right now, bro, me and you could drop something on SoundCloud and a bunch of we might be popular kids somewhere, and they start sharing it, and it takes off, and it's trash. But it's because it's so accessible now. You know what I mean? So we're like back then, bro, if you were dope, either you were gonna invest your money or somebody was gonna invest it for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like it's studio time. Like, that's why back then, like, bro, a lot of the just look at the quality, like whether it's like rapping or singing. A lot of people talk about how like man, I'm a huge like 90s R&B guy, right? Bro, look at like 90s R&B compared to like now. You can't compare. Like that's why you don't really have the groups like back then. You had like, Jodeci and Bell Beef DeVoe and New Edition and all these groups, right, that are super dope. Now, like, you don't really see that, because back then, like, in order to get those dudes, like, it was like, bro, you actually get in behind a studio, get behind a console, you know what I mean, record vocals, do this, do that, get it just right. And if all that energy was going to go into something, it was going to be because it was good. Yeah. Now it's like just so easy, man. It's just so... the production right now, I mean, you can make a beat. We could YouTube how to make a beat on Reason, on Fruity Loops. Yeah. And we'll make a beat and we could say some jibber jabber on it and put it on the net. Yeah. And
I actually made the intro for the podcast.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I made it.
Yeah. It don't sound bad though. Yeah. Yeah, it don't sound bad.
Yeah, I made it, man. I did it on my phone too, dog. Yeah. There's apps where you can make music on your phone, dog. And so just
which is cool, but like, I guess it's just pros and cons, dude. Just like anything, like, I guess if you use it to like your advantage and to like better the craft, then I'm all for it. But at the same time, it's like, man, it's like, man, dude, it's kind of killing it too, Yeah.
But what I see is like those people who like talk all that shit, try to pump themselves up and then don't have the skills, they don't last.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they don't last. And then, so if you're in it, it's for the love of the craft, for, getting better, and you put all this time into it, and, you build all these skills up. I was like, that's when you have like a longer career. Yeah. You have like, you can survive, whether it's from, your work is dope enough, you're you turn up the clubs, everybody gets hype and stuff like that. So you're gonna no matter what, you're gonna get some work. Yeah. Yeah. So it's to the point where, those people that can't get a like a dance floor rocking, or can't bring people to the dance floor, and just people where the people they those photos that they do turn in are trash and stuff that. They're not gonna get booked. Maybe they convince somebody else, but they're not gonna.
Or they're on to the next lick.
Yeah, basically.
The next whatever they want to do.
Hustle.
Yeah. But a lot of that too, I feel like, because it can, man, like it can be, man, it could kind of like lower your self-esteem sometimes, to where like, dang, like, man, am I good? Yeah. Like, man, I thought I was all right, but you might not. Man, it's just like anything, man. It's life. Like life's not always, bro. Life
It's not always fair.
It sucks sometimes, you know, and that applies to this too. Like, you know, like you might go into some drops where you're not booked how you were, you know, but then, you know, like how you're saying, like if you're true about what you do and you love what you do, you know what I mean? Like, bro, those tough times, man, they're not gonna last. Yeah, you know what I mean? And you're gonna, just like it applies with, you know, life too, man. It's just coexist. You're gonna keep it grinding. You're gonna figure it out. And to me, man, a big like reason that will like push you into that direction more so too, more than anything, is like who you surround yourself with. You know, if you surround yourself with other dudes that are like, you know, that like I have like probably like 5, 6 like true DJ buddies, right? And not just because they're my friends, but they're all super dope, very talented DJs.
Well, you got your crew.
Yeah.
The headliners.
Yeah.
You got that. You could plug that.
The headliners. Shout out to the headliners. Yeah. So a lot of those dudes, man, like, bro, like, when that whole little crew, that's a prime example. Like, so like we started. It was a DJ David Cruz, Scott Summers, DJ ADM, DJ Wicked, Rob him. He don't DJ no more though. Shout out to Rob. He just got on with Yale.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
Hey, okay, Yale, I see you, boy. Yeah.
Go get his masters over there, man.
Yeah, that boy's
dope,
getting it.
Dog.
Yeah,
That's
for
dope.
sure. But he was part of like the original clique. And more so than anything, bro, we kind of did it because we love what we did. And we were all boys, and we would help each other out. Mm-hmm. And you know, like, we all like really like took the craft serious, you know? Yeah. And a lot of those dudes, man, the majority of those dudes, man, are super talented, bro. Super talented. And they've gone through droughts, like, you know, to where, like, I remember, like, I'm sure he won't mind, my friend Adam. Yeah. Bro, Adam's super slept on, bro. Super talented, super dope. To me, open format DJs in the city, he's, to me, a top 8 DJ in a city that's big on the DJ culture, right? Yeah. But he has a real chill personality. It's not really loud. Yeah. You know, he just chill, dude. He goes, he kills it, goes home, you know? Mm-hmm. For a while, like, he wasn't gigging as much. And I remember I would tell him, like, bro, like, you're dope. Like, I remember he started about hanging it up. And I was telling him, I would tell him, like, bro, like, you're good, dude. Like, you're good, bro. Like, it's gonna work itself out, man. Like, it's you know, just because right now you're not gigging how you were, it don't make you any less talented. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, bro, it happens sometimes. And right now, like, bro, my boy got his stride and he's rocking again, you know, and he's kind of like getting, and it makes me feel good because it's like, bro, that's what I'm talking about. Like, he's getting appreciated. He's getting, you know, bro, he's one of like the like legit dudes that are real about the craft, that are real, don't disrespect it, that are good people, that are genuine. Mm. Not, you know, like, bro, like, how do you not like root for dudes like that? Or how do you, like, as a consumer, how do you not support that? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, all that, like, all those DJs, man, like, that's all really how it all started, bro. And then we would all, like, we're in a group chat and would roast each other, joke around, crack jokes. But at the end of the day, like, the majority of those dudes, man, like, I know if I ever need anything, they got my back, you know? And even now more so, man, like, they're more so in the club circuit. And I'm still, like, in the middle. Like, I'm going more towards, like, the corporate ends because, you know, I went to audio engineering school and I have sound and all that. And so I'm getting more into the production end of it. And on that end, I have, like, my friend DJ Fuego, DJ J4. Bro, those are my guys too, man. And another 2 dudes that are super slept on, super underrated, but because they don't have that car salesman to them, you know, they don't have that arrogance to them, you know, and it kind of sucks, man. Outside looking in, because it's like, yo, like, come on, Houston, like, yo, you got these dope ass cats, you know, just because they're not characters, or they're not, you know, gimmicks,
and they're not over the top, you know,
you know what I mean, but. Fuego and Anja, they do very well for themselves, but, you know, more so on this other lane, you know, and that's really where the lane where I want to get into now more so because, man, as you get older, man, like, the club, I still like enjoy doing the clubs and stuff, but man, when you do it might sound kind of corny, bro. It's like an amazing feeling, like when you DJ somebody's wedding, and after the wedding, dude, they're like, "Oh my God, you're great. Thank you so much. You were awesome. You made this night perfect." It's like, bro, like people's getting married, like this is a monumental day in their life, and forever, till they grow old, they're gonna be like, "You remember DJ Loon, the headliners, man, they killed it," And dude, that to me, like, as I get older, it's like, man, I kind of like want to grasp more towards that, because I just feel like I've done the club thing already, man. And don't get me wrong, like it's still fun, but it's kind of like the Houston, man. And I hate to say this too, like, bro, I feel like we're behind with music, a lot of times. So like a lot of times you try to like enlighten people, bro. I remember like I would always like try to incorporate like Spanish into my sets, right? Yeah. Whether it was like reggaeton or it was like some sort of like cumbia or even on like, I love reggae, so I would like incorporate reggae in my sets. And like some years back, bro, that like the people a lot of times used to look at me like
what the hell you
really?
playing?
And then now, bro, you look at it, bro, reggaeton is like, I think it's bro, it's like it's the biggest genre in the world, bro. Yeah. And then now, because it's cool, now Houston wants to like, like, well, not even just Houston, but more so everybody. But then you would go to like, before I'd go to Miami, bro, in Miami, they were on it. They've been on it, It's a lot of times too, it's just like the market here, man, like you try to like enlighten people, you try to like, man, let me show you this, let me show you that. But a lot of times we're so programmed to the radio that you're like, nah, man, play some Drake, play some Cardi,
Man, that's it.
Yeah, so like that's why like on this other side, like the private events, corporate side, I have more fun because, bro, I could really just like get into my whole arsenal and be like, man, I'm gonna play some disco, I'm gonna play some funk, I'm gonna play some reggae, I'm gonna play some old school Metallica, I'm gonna go from this to some old school Stevie B. I'm gonna go into, and bro, that to me is when like I have the most fun DJing, because you kind of like, you just blending all genres, bro, and you kind of take them to like a little musical ride, and you can't really do that in clubs here, man. I like that, like, so yeah,
I feel that, man. I kind of relate with that with me in photography, man. I could relate to that because like there's a lot of like, most of the gigs, that people want you to do are like either like shoot weddings or shoot like some graduation photos or something like that, baby photos and things like that. And to me, I was like, I don't feel that those kind of things aren't really rewarding towards me. Like for me, I like more like the creative side, where we could like set up like a shot, and maybe tell a story within the shot and just create something, new that people, haven't seen and stuff like that. And I see like the parallel with
bro, same
with
thing,
like the
bro.
music, man. Yeah. And then so you kind of find your lanes where you feel like you kind of have fun at and stuff like that. And then you kind of gravitate toward that. And then that's what I had to do. Like I've turned down like a whole bunch of like graduation photos, weddings and stuff like that, just because I didn't want to shoot that. I was like, that's not the type of stuff like I really want to do. I'm doing Bebo's wedding because Bebo asked me. So he's like, hey, can you record the wedding? I was like, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm down. Like
I might be wasted, but
I'm gonna have you on video. Now there's gonna be footage of that.
You're gonna be like, do a shot, Mike. All right. Nah, but man, to piggyback off of that, bro, like, man, dude, like I could relate to that so hard because, so for example, man, like I'm real pro, like, man, dude, I like, bro, I'm very pro, like our culture, right? Like moving the culture forward, and I feel like, dude, we're the generation. I feel like our generation right now, dude, we could play a huge role, like,
it's pivotal.
For sure, And to me, it's like, man, like I remember like a lot of times like people were like I had friends, dude, that would be ashamed to say like they're Mexican or they're Hispanic or they're Salvadoran or Colombian or Costa, like, because it was almost like, oh, really? Like, because they want to, that they wanted to fit in, or a lot of times it's kind of looked down upon, you know?
Yeah.
It was like, if you want to listen to some Spanish music, you know, they're kind of like, your friends will look at you weird or whatever.
Yeah.
So, man, to me, man, it's like, man, my mom sacrificed way too much for me not to like, forever in my life to ever like, not like rep that, you know? And a lot of like, how I was telling you about like a lot of venues being stingy and do they try to like take advantage of the culture, you know? So like, for example, like I have the Cinco de Mayo event that I'm throwing, and this is the...
You can at least tell them where it's at, you know, invite everybody out.
Cinco de Mayo at Chapman and Kirby.
Yeah, Chapman and Kirby.
Yeah, it's on like Ito-ish.
Yeah.
Chapman and Kirby, Cinco de Mayo. Got a super dope lineup. But like, bro, I just got tired of venues like trying to like, and it's a lot of it, I won't say any names, but they'll use Cinco de Mayo, you know, and I started DJing. I DJed my first club when I was 17. So I've this is years of it. A lot of times I've had friends, I've been part of it. Like, they didn't want to let me in the club because I'm Hispanic. Point blank, period. Because being there suited down, fitted, we already got 10 Hispanics in there, like, can't do no more.
Yep.
You know, even though they don't say it out loud, that's what they... Bro,
I would get turned down all the time.
Yeah,
man.
you know what I mean? Because you know, so... But now that it's cool because it's Cinco de Mayo, so now you can make money off of like our people. You know what I mean? And I like, bro, it was just, I hated it. I hate that, man. Mm-hmm. And man, I was getting asked to do like Cinco de Mayo stuff. I remember I did this spot, and it was Cinco de Mayo, so I was like, bro, like, cool. I just DJ'd, and bro, Cinco de Mayo, so bro, I'm gonna turn up. Like, I'm gonna add everything else that people want to hear, but it's Cinco de Mayo, so I'm gonna play stuff for the culture too. And I remember like the owner telling me, "Hey, that's too Mexican. Don't play that."
Damn, dog.
And I was like, "Dude, like, it's Cinco de Mayo. Like, what?"
Yeah.
And as soon as I played it, bro, like, the crowd went crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, how are you gonna like have our colors, Mexican flag behind here? You know, talking about Cinco de Mayo and this and that, but whenever like it really, really comes down to it, you're just using it to make money. Yeah. You know? So, man, bro, after that I was like, man, forget that. I'm gonna do my own shit. You know, like, fuck y'all and excuse my language. But it's just like man, I'm gonna do my own shit. I'm put my own shit together, and I don't give a fuck. 10 people go. Like, I know I'm a rep, you know, and yeah, bro, like last year was this is the third year we do it, but last year was the first year that I was pretty much all hands on deck. Like, I did the majority I did the lineup, the production behind it, and it was an awesome turnout, man. So this year, man, like, wow, I just hope it's bigger and better. That's the plan, you know? So yeah, that's how like it all started, but it all goes back to what you were saying, man. Like, you know, like, a lot of times, man, it's like, man, you're doing something because you enjoy it, you love it. It's not always about the money. Mm-hmm. I could have kept my mouth shut and be like, yes, sir. Like, I'll keep playing some Taylor Swift or whatever you want me to play. Yeah. And I remember me and that dude ended up getting into it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I'm gonna keep playing. I'm gonna play whatever I want to play. I was like, if not, you come DJ. You know, we got into it. Bro, I kept rocking. Yeah. And then afterwards, I got paid. But I was like, man, F this dude, you know. Or I could have kept my mouth shut and yes sir, played along, or you know, been a yes what do you call it, a yes man. Yeah. And okay, and did whatever he did, and then I feel like, dude, bro, my mom used to clean houses. You know, like, she sacrificed a lot for me to like, for like, you know, like she sacrificed a lot. So for like, you think I'm like
gonna put up with that shit,
man? Like, for you to disrespect me like that, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, that's like a slap in the face of my mom. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude, that's why, like, man, I get you, bro. And a lot of time, like, that's a big reason too why I'm transitioning more into this side. Yeah. You know, because, bro, there's nothing like being your own boss. And there's nothing like you have all these thoughts in your head, and you might like tell them to somebody that's above you, and they're like, yeah, okay, Mike, whatever. Yeah. You know, get it. Yeah. And then when you do it, you're like, oh, you know, like, or not. At the end of the day, if you want something done well and you have this vision in your head, who's gonna do it better than you? Yeah. Nobody, bro. You know what I mean? So I ended up, that's where I'm going with this, man. And yeah, like I'm super proud of this, man. Like this event that's coming up. And yeah, bro, it's gonna be like, don't get me wrong though, it's not gonna be like no straight ticket. But you know, it's gonna be just to me, man, it's Cinco de Mayo, and yeah, it's not gonna be your average party, I'll tell you that. Like, bro, we got like gonna have percussionists there, gonna have mariachis, Jarritos is a sponsor.
That's dope.
So yeah, bro. So it's like, man, it's you know, like it's just something for like for the culture, man. You know what I mean? And just kind of like enlighten other people that you not necessarily might not be Mexican, but man, you might be put on game because you may think that all Mexicans wear big pointy boots and hats. Yeah. And you don't even know. It's like, bro, it's a whole nother aspect of this, you know? And at the end of the day, man, it's just about educating people too, man. You know, like I have one of my real good friends, bro. He's Nigerian. And man, that dude's put me on so much game, bro. And it's dope, man, to learn about other cultures and their music and how they move and how they go about things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of like, that's what I mean. Like, bro, I feel like we're very pivotal because we have to like, bro, we have to shut that shit down on how like our generation grew up. You know what I mean? Like our people's like they even, and we're a lot to blame for it too. Like Hispanics, you know, bro, every race, like I feel like they live in this little box, you know, to where like back then I know it was like a lot of, if you dated outside your race, it was looked down upon, you know, by like the old school like I know like a lot of like Hispanics are big like that. Yeah, they were big. A lot of Nigerians are big like that. Bro, just all cultures, you know, like white, everybody. So we're all, it's not just one, everybody's at fault. But I feel like like right now we're like right there, especially like with Trump and all this, bro. It's kind of like that kind of thinking has gotten steam again, you know? So I feel like, I don't know, man, maybe like dudes like me and you, bro, we're like small pawns in the game right now. But it's like how we were talking earlier, bro, before like we were recording, like why people are scared of, bro, what they're not used to and what they haven't seen. You know what I mean? So like, why can't it start with us? Why? You know, like, why not? You know, it takes somebody to think outside that box. You know, like to like, bro, whenever like you think when like Braun was like 12, like I'm gonna be the best basketball player in the world at one point. Yeah, okay, but it has to start here. You know, and once you know, it has to start somewhere, man. And it's like, bro, you look at Pac, bro. What did Pac say? He's like, I may not change the world, but I'll spark the mind that will. Nipsey, you know what I mean? And you look at everything, like, bro, like from his passing, bro, look how like it's united people. You know, like it's crazy, bro. You got Bloods and Crips and the, you know, the LA gang culture is deep, but even more so than that, like all races. Because Nipsey was just like, bro, he was just a real dude. Like he was all about the people and man, like.
Trying to help his community. Yeah, bro. He stayed in his community.
And he's always said that he was a huge Pac fan. So, how, like, you know, there you go. Like, bro, how do you know, like, we might not be the next Nipseys, but, like, maybe we could spark the next Nipseys or it has to start with us.
It has to, man.
You know what I mean? Instead of, like, always, like, oh, man, shit, fuck that shit. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just worried about me, bro, whatever. Yeah. You know, like, man, man, that's not a good way of thinking, man. And that's how like average people stay average. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
they don't get any better. They don't grow. They don't progress. They stay in their own little spot and then that's it.
Yeah, man. And that's one thing, man, that like, you know, like I try to surround myself with like all my friends, bro. Like I you know, and a lot, especially like within men, bro, like a lot of times it's kind of looked down upon to like if you talk about your feelings or if I'm like, if I try to motivate you or before it's kind of like, damn, bro, you weak, bro. Get that gay shit out of here, bro. But now it's like, bro, like, why? What's wrong with like showing my brother love? Like, hey, Mike, I love you, bro. Man, keep doing your thing. Oh, I appreciate that, bro. You know, like, that's the kind of people, like, as like we get older, bro, like, man, that's the kind of people you want to surround yourself with. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you hang around a bunch of dudes that, you know, don't strive to be nothing, or just about themselves or selfish, then bro, without even knowing it, that's what you're gonna be. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if you hang with like genuine cats that want to see you shine, that have love for you, that get joy out of seeing you succeed, you know, like bro, then that's the kind of like person you're gonna be, and then that's what like you're gonna set up for like the next generation. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, bro, it's not to get all deep or whatever, man,
man.
but yeah, but
hey, we love that here, dog. We get deep on this podcast, man. You're basically talking about like, you know, this is what we're doing, and this is what we're doing, man. We're trying to do with this, man. And you know, like I mentioned, like on a previous podcast, man, that the secret of life is that life is just a journey to find your own happiness, and along that journey, you know, you have to help as many other people else that you, as you can, man. So it's a little about you. I was like, you gotta live it to you gotta figure out what makes you happy and then go towards that. Mm-hmm. But along the way, man, you gotta help others, man. I think that's big, man. I think that, honestly, I'm telling you, that's the secret of life. That's it, man. And man, I really appreciate you coming on this podcast, man. This is dope, man. I love this talk and this energy, man. I love what you're doing. I
appreciate it, brother.
I love the music, you know. I love the grind. I love that you're going more into the production side, you know, and putting all of it together, the sound, corporate events. That's dope, man. That's dope. It's progress.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
You're growing, man, and I see that, man, and it's dope. And I know we don't talk often, and we don't see each other often, man. But you know, I really dig what you're doing, man. I think it's dope, and you know, if there's anything like I could do to help you out, just know, man, I'm here to.
Man, I appreciate that, brother.
Whatever
real,
you need,
man.
I'm here for it.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. When was the last time I seen you since before? It's been a while.
It's been years, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, bro. Like, you know, social media, bro. Like, you know, like, bro, it's life. You know, like we all, like you were saying, dude. We all have our own journeys we go through. We all have our own battles we face. You know, so, you know, like from afar though, like, you know, social media, like I'm like, okay, Mike, I see you, bro. Yeah. You know, so like, even though I mean, I see you again. Hopefully, we'll stop that after today, though. But even if I didn't, though, like, you know, like I still like, bro. Like I know that, like I know you're a genuine, like, good cat, you know. And bro, I've been cheering from you from afar, like, Mike, like, bro, hell yeah, bro, do that shit, you know, like with the whole podcast, you know, like, bro, I remember before the camera was, I told you, like, bro, this is super dope, man, like, and just. Yeah, bro. Like this is out the norm. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't see cats from the hood, from where we're from, doing stuff like this. You know what I mean? So this is like, bro. Yeah, you gotta, like, man, you gotta enlighten these people, man. Like show them, you know, there's more to it than just, you know, out here chasing girls and all that other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I want it. It's a lot of like opening like people's minds, like just you know, just get them to think differently, and then just really it's all about like learning and trying to get better, man. And with me, I was like, okay, man, I feel like I got all this information, but you know, it's all in my head. And I was like, man, I want to share it. This is information that could help other people, man. And it does no good to anybody else, like if I keep all this like information to myself and don't share it, man. And I want to help out like as many people as I can, man, and just get them, you know, thinking like in the right mindset, man. Get them thinking like positively, trying to improve themselves, trying to get better, trying to, you know, find whatever makes them happy, and then just figure out a way to get to that point.
Yeah, man. Like, bro, I am with you, dude. 100, man. Like a big reason why I did the whole, like, the whole other side of like the firefighting thing. Like, bro, that is probably the biggest reason why I do that, you know, and it's because at the end of the day, I want to help people, you know what I mean? And since I've been in the Houston Fire Department for 7 years now, and since I started, bro, I've been in inner city, predominantly Black and Hispanic communities, right? And it's because it's like, bro, like if I make a call or if we respond to you know, somebody's mom having a heart attack or something, and a lot of times, dude, like inner city, like people don't like, bro, like for example, like I was retained back to like my grandma and my mom, like they didn't know English like that, you know what I mean? So a lot of times, like they're lost, bro. Imagine like you have a loved one and they're going through like something horrible, and then you can't even communicate to the people, you know what I mean? So like. Or if you're like, you know, in the hood and bro, a lot of times like we'll stop and I'm like, man, let's stop right here, bro. Let's hoop with these kids. You know, just because bro, the perception of it outside looking in is so bad, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I'm with you 100, bro. Like, yeah, man. Like we're here. We only live one life. Why not help as many people as you can, and why not, like, bro, like, share love, spread love, man, and try to, like, bro, try to, like, be those pivotal cats, you know, that I was just telling you about. Like, bro, it starts with dudes like us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, why, you know, like, yeah, man, it all kind of coexists with each other, man, and yeah, bro, like, you know, I always have love for you, man, and that's a big reason why, man. Even since back then, bro, like, when I was telling you, like, the buzz bows, I was like, yo, this dude, and I remember you, like, with Bebo, you, I think something happened to my car or something, and then Bebo was like, yo, Mike said he got you, bro, just take it by.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I'm not gonna do that, dude. And he's like, nah, for real, Mike said just go by. Like, you could probably fix it, it'll be nothing.
Yeah.
And even though I didn't, I remember I just rode with it because I didn't want to bother you. I didn't know you like that then. Mm-hmm. But, you know, just little stuff like that. Like, it's just like, yo, like, something, you'd be surprised, something like that small of a gesture that you did then. Like, it's like, yo, like, damn, Mike, that was what's up, man. Like, you know, like, just something so small that you did kind of shows what you are, what you're about. Yeah. You know, like, man, you're I know you, Bebo's blood, Bebo's fam. So you're fam. I got you. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, I was telling you, man, I was like, you are who you hang with. You know, so, like, me and Bebo see each other often, and you know, Izzy and Young. I'm gonna forever love those dudes because those are, like, genuine good people, and they're good friends, man. And it goes all back to, like, whether we don't talk every day, or a year from now or 2 years from now, like, bro, like, you know, like, those dudes are gonna you right now. You call any one of them, and they got your back. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like, yeah, bro, it's always love, man. As far as in, like, the kind of person I think you are, bro, and bro, just keep pushing, man, keep grinding, man, and you got a brother in me too, man. Anything you need, I got you, dog.
All right, man. Appreciate that. Look, man, before we end, I got, like, a stupid question. Like, recently, probably, like, maybe, like, last year, I started watching Chicago Fire. Like, all right, man. So I started watching that, and I got into that. And so, you know, I never knew, like, I want to ask you, man, so there's, like, beds and, like, showers, like, in the fire station?
Yeah, we're there 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. Dude, like, I had never, like, once I saw that, I was like, for real? I was like, I never knew that. I was like, that kind of just, like, blew my mind. Yeah. Like, it's what?
Yeah, we have, bro, pretty much look at it like a frat house almost. Yeah. Like, we have bunk beds, not bunk beds. We have the twin size beds. Yeah. We have kitchen, we have showers, we have it's like a house. Yeah.
See, I never, like, I see them all the time, but I never pictured that, like, inside, man.
Lockers, we have like lockers for your fire gear, lockers for your, like, personal belongings, for your bedding. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And then, like, another question, like, they have, like, shifts. What's considered a shift?
So, like, for example, like, the Houston Fire Department, right? We work off of 4 shifts. It's a A, B, C, D, right? So, for example, I'm on a C shift. So, let's say I'm on a C shift, right? And let's say you're on the D shift. So, since, you know, fire stations don't close, man. Yeah. 24/7, don't matter what, we're at work. Somebody's on shift. So, let's say I'm on shift tomorrow, right? So that's the C shift. So you relieve me the next day. So you're the D shift. And then so we work 2 24-hour shifts a week, right? So, for example, let's say tomorrow is Monday. So this week I work Monday, Wednesday, and let's say you're the D shift. So you'll relieve me my in between day, and then you'll relieve me my second day. Okay. And then the A shift, it goes back around. The A shift relieves you, and then they relieve you both days, and then the B shift relieves them, and it just goes. Okay. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, we have 4 shifts. You work 2 24 hours a week, and you're off 5. Yeah.
So you live there 2 days.
2 days out the week. Sometimes more, like, for Harvey, man, I was at the station like 3 days. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of guys couldn't go home, or a lot of guys couldn't come in to work. So, Yeah, you're at the station, man. Yeah. You're there sometimes longer. Yeah, all depending. You know what I mean? Yeah, but
I'm sorry. Those are like I was watching the show and I was like, what? Those are the questions. I was like, what the hell? Are you serious? And of course, me, like, I didn't look it up or anything like that. I could have like easily Googled it, but I was like, man, nah. I was like, I got Loon here. I'm gonna ask him.
we do, man. A lot of people always bring up Chicago Fire is funny, man. Like every call, man, you'd be surprised, bro. Like how many BS calls we go to.
Really?
Yeah, like people will call 911 because their toe, like they stubbed the toe. I swear, or like their head hurts.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, have you taken any ibuprofen? No. When did it start hurting? 2 weeks ago. So like. You're gonna call an ambulance, somebody getting shot right now, and you're getting the ambulance out of service. Yeah, bro. People call 911 for dumb stuff, man. Yeah. But in Chicago Fire, bro, every call is life. Every call is life and death. And don't get me wrong though, like it can get real, like real quick, But I think that's the biggest difference. Like with Chicago Fire, like
it's dramatized.
Everything is like, oh, blood everywhere. And like a lot of times we show up and, hey man, you drunk, and like last day I worked, it was two drunk dudes at Jack in the Box. They passed out, and then they didn't call, somebody else called and thought they were having a heart attack. Yeah. So we show up, did all these fire trucks and ambulances, and the dude he's like, bro, like high and drunk. So there's this thing that we do to like kind of like wake people up. It's called a sternum rub. So you get your knuckles, bro, and you rub their sternum, and it hurts. So I'm like, hey, he's like, oh, like, this is ready to swing on me.
Yeah.
And then after it's all said and done, man, this dude's like, yeah, can I order my food? Like, can I order my food? Can I get a number 8, please? Extra cheese?
That's
crazy,
dude.
Man. It's bro, we have all that. It's just like a house. Yeah. We should have done the podcast at the station, man.
We could do it. Can we? I'm down.
Hey
man, I'm down, dog. Or even dude, I kind of just want to go see, man. Just check
bro, you're more than welcome, man. At my station, bro, you're more than welcome. To come out, man. And actually, man, we might be able to set something up. I'll talk to those guys because, I don't know if you're familiar with the whole thing that's going on with like the Houston Fire Department and the mayor and
Prop B.
Yeah. And them laying guys off.
Yeah.
So it's a big old mess right now, man. So I'm sure any good what's the word I'm looking for? Like any good not necessarily promotion. I don't say promotion. Even just spreading truth, like giving real knowledge, because a lot of that stuff is politically driven.
Show what people don't see, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just to kind of see, like, bro, we're like the fourth. I think I just read somewhere that Houston just passed up Chicago for the unofficially as the third largest city in the country, right? And like the way the mayor is trying to he makes Houston seem like we're like Pasadena, or like we're like this little baby, like we're Conroe, or like, bro, we're Houston, Texas, man, like the third, fourth largest city in the world. Our economy is booming, and there's crime here, and you need cops and you need firefighters, So it's like a lot of this stuff, man. It's all numbers. It's all political numbers, to where like the mayor's trying to sell wolf tickets and kind of like paint us out like to be like we're like some bad guys. But at the end of the day, it's all numbers, man. It's all like, think about it, bro. If you're given you're the CEO now of McDonald's, and we need you to cut budget, and we need you to raise profits.
Yeah.
Right. And you have and let's say you if you do that, then you're gonna own half of McDonald's, for example. So for him is this, and after Houston is what, state, maybe a senator or something, So it's all about, bro. It's all crunched in numbers. So like in his years of term, it's like, all right, I'm not going to be the dude that's going to give these firefighters his raise, even though I just took half of their retirement. That's something they haven't, that he took 1.2 billion from like the Houston firefighters retirements, and retired, like the retirement. So like retirees and guys that were going to potentially like retire with like some amount of money, their retirements got cut in half.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So like guys like me and you, like we're still like young enough to like, I'm still like, I was already like in the hiring process with like, I was already looking at Austin, Dallas. It probably didn't pass. But look at like guys that are like 45, 50, bro. Like they've been 20 years in. They can't do that. You know, like the cutoff limit for HFD is 35. So usually if you're over 35, like you can't get in. They can't hire you because you're too old. So like, what do you do? If you're 48, your retirement just got cut in half. You're getting paid like shit. You know what I mean? And this is money like you thought you had in 5 years when you retire, and now that's cut in half. Now what do? You know what I mean? So it's just like a bunch of like, that, bro, we could have a whole nother hour podcast on that, right? I'm real passionate about that too.
Yeah, man, I would love to hear that, man. Yeah. But we got to wrap up now, man. Thanks for coming on, Loon. You want to share like all your socials or remind everybody to come like, is it actually May 5th?
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo, Chapman and Kirby. It's gonna 2 p.m. to midnight. And myself, Scott Summers, Wicked, David Cruz, and ADM. Am I forgetting? And J4, my man J4. Along with like, some live musicians and the whole work, man. We're just trying to give a good representation of the culture, man, and kind of blend it in with everything else. But yeah, man, come out, Cinco de Mayo, Chapman and Kirby. And yeah, if y'all want to follow me at official DJ Loon. Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
man. I'm gonna link all that stuff like in the description, stuff like that, man. And
and the headliner's ENT.com.
There you go, man. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
So man, thanks for coming on, man.
Man, pleasure, bro.
Anytime, really appreciate brother.
Anytime, man.
We hey man, if I could do something with the fire station, dog, I'm down, dog.
Yeah. I'll look into that for you, for real. Whether
y'all need like maybe like photos, or if you want, like we could do like a little like, video and stuff like that. Anything, man, I'm down for it.
Yeah. I'll look into that for sure.
Yeah, man. And then so man, just want to remind you, man, I'm down for anything that you're doing. I'm down to support whatever it is, man. I'm here for you.
Cool, man. I appreciate it, brother. I better see you Cinco de Mayo, man. Then I'm
trying to be out there. Wait. It's a Sunday?
Yeah.
It's okay. I know I have a shoot I have a photo shoot the 4th. I know that for a fact.
I'm gonna have Mike out there with a sombrero, dancing some wapangos. And
there
stuff.
You go, man. Yeah, man. So all right, guys, man. I appreciate y'all for listening. Defynest, DEFYNEST. I think I said that right. I'm not sure. It's on the shirt, man. It's on the shirt. It's up there, dog. And if I haven't noticed, this is the first episode where I'm showing off the gear, man.
Yeah, it's dope, bro. I like that.
This is I call this the day one shirt, man. Yeah. I got a little, you guys are Defynest on the sleeve, and then a little message like inside and stuff like that, man. So this is gonna be like the first shirt of the clothing line, and this is actually like the first hat of the clothing line too, man. I'm dropping. Got the logo and like multicolors and stuff like that, man. So yeah, man. I'll probably release that. The official release of the clothing line is probably later this month. So it's probably like the last week of April. So like the week of the 29th to maybe the first week of May. Maybe that time is when I'm looking to actually officially launch. And then so one thing I'm doing with this shirt is I'm only making this shirt available for a week. Because I call it the day one shirt. Okay. Alarm going off. I got to go in a little bit. But this is the day one shirt because, and this really what I'm doing with this shirt is it really came from like me wanting to thank like all the guests that have been on the podcast. So I'm giving all this shirt away to all the guests on the podcast who've been on the podcast. They're getting this shirt for free, and for all the listeners, I want to give them an opportunity to buy this shirt, but I only want to make it available for 1 week, because this is really geared to the people who've been on who are on from the beginning. Yeah. And this is something I want to do for them, man. Just something that special.
Way, whenever you have like 3 million subscribers, bro,
you ain't got this shirt.
Limited edition.
Limited edition. You ain't get. You weren't there from the very beginning. So yeah, man. So all the listeners here that listen to this podcast, who watch this podcast on YouTube or check it out on Spotify, iTunes, or whatever, man. This shirt is gonna be available 1 week. for sure. Probably, I'm telling you, last week of April, first week of May, that the week of the 29th is probably when I officially launch. I'll make it official soon, probably. But yeah, man. So, you know, if you want to support with that, that's one way I can support the
man.
podcast.
Buy the shirt, man. Buy the gear, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. So I
got that income tax bread, man. Come on, man. Buy my man's gear, man. That's actually a dope shirt. I'd rock that.
Appreciate that, man.
For sure.
You got one for free though, man. I'm giving you one for free.
Put it on eBay. 500
afterwards. Once we get all the views, you sell that. Hey, man, you could do that, man. I'm down for it. Hey, man, if that's your hustle, if you want to make a little extra money like that, man.
Nah, bro. I'm gonna get you the sign. I'm gonna frame it.
There you go, man. That'd be dope, man. Yeah, man. So, there's this thing I've been wanting to do for a while, but I always keep forgetting, man. I always want to end the podcast with like the same little saying, man. I always want to, and that's like the tagline, the slogan of this whole Defynest podcast, man. And I just want to remind everybody, that man, thanks for listening, and until next time, man. I just want y'all to remind yourselves, man, that y'all gotta defy the definition, man. So what that means, just basically go out there and, you know, people always want to tell you what you can't do and what you're supposed to do, man. And I just want people to remind people to go out there and, you know, even if someone tells you can't do something, dog, you can do it, man. If you really want to, you put in the effort, you could do it, and you can make a difference. And, you know, you could be better, man, and you could grow from it, and you could learn. And so, yeah, man, I just want to remind you to everybody, man. So till next time, man, defy the definition. It's rap, man.